Hello and welcome, I'm LeatherMushroom, your hostess with the mostest. Today we're taking a look at Ashes 2063, the Doom Total Conversion mod that redefines well, I suppose the genre that is Total Conversion mods. Ashes 2063, this will be split into 3 episodes. One video for episode 1, one for Dead Man Walking, and one for Afterglow. These are going to be a little bit longer than usual. See the first one being the longest. As episode 1 is it's a good, I'd say 4 to 5 hours playtime. And the wonderful music you're listening to right now is brought to you by Primeval, and all the relative links to the creators, designers, and makers of the mod will be down below. You can follow them and play this wonderful free content for yourself. So let's get stuck into the first level, which is Outskirts, which I think is a very good introduction to the game. Here you get a really good grasp of the mechanics, the basic weapons being obviously your crowbar. You don't go anywhere without a crowbar. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I go to the store to get milk, I'm taking my crowbar. You know, I'm going on the bus, I'm taking my crowbar. I'm going to a funeral. You better believe I'm stashing that crowbar. But you'll see the effectiveness of it. You've got the standard primary fire, which is just a light, quick swing. But the secondary mode for it is a heavier, slower swing with a nice meaty thud to it, and it can take a few enemies out in one hit. I wouldn't suggest it against some of the smaller ranged enemies you'll see later, but it can get you out of a tight situation indeed. The 9mm autoloader will become a bit of a workhorse, although it does share its ammo type with another weapon that we'll see later. So you do get shared ammo types, which kind of makes you can't live this game just using 1 or 2 weapons. You really have to switch it up and be mindful of the ammo types you're using. The 45 is an absolute nail driver, and that's generally a 2-hit kill. Now these are the little, I don't know what they're actually called. As you know, I like to make up my own names, so we're going to be calling them little annoying mutant dogs, or frog dog bastards. That also fits perfectly well. They are very hard to melee up close because their fire speed, as you can see, is pretty damn fast. Like I said, the secondary swing from the crowbar can prove invaluable. Now, reloading is something you will you will get used to. You will. It's and to say this for like a tutorial entry really does teach you the importance of that. Also teaches you the importance of secrets. Secrets in Ashes, they aren't mandatory, and you can get through the game without them, but they are going to be extremely helpful. They are, like here, you find armor and junk being the currency of the game when you get to hubs. Now, the designers of Osteox, they really do seem to like the old trope of open the door and get fucked, is what I like to call it, but the 45 dispatches with most things at very good range. The accuracy at range is very good. Now, shotgun, if you pay attention, you will get the shotgun this early on, and it will be invaluable. But just because you get it doesn't mean you use it, which I think is a very smart way, because if every time you get a new weapon and you abuse its use, you're going to find yourself very low on ammo for a long time. And the shotgun thugs, depicted by the guys in slightly red armor, not these goons here. Blow his face off quickly. There we go. Paint the wall red with him. The shotgun thugs, they generally drop like 2 or 3 shells for ammunition, and it generally takes 1 close up or 2 at range to kill them. So you really have to balance it. You have to make every kill count. Now, we do get platforming, but as you know, I am very against platforming in my FPS, but it's actually done quite well. I would suggest when playing this, have auto run off, because for some of the platforming sections it will screw you over. let's say Outskirts, nice, quick, easy, great tutorial, very bare bones. And look at that, for once I even got all the bloody secrets. Hey, the first for everything. So without further ado, we're going to go and take a trip to the Boneyard. Now, the motorcycle is a wonderful feature. I'm really happy how it is implemented. You do use mouse look for steering, which, believe me, as you'll see, takes a bit of getting used to. And when you crash into stuff, depending on how hard, and I think the angle as well, you do damage to yourself. Your bike doesn't have health, from what I've seen, but you do. So, you know, kind of best to be careful, really. Although it is funny. And this little bike trip at the start really just adds some atmosphere, and John's music really adds to it as well. So it brings you to the motel, or as I like to call it, Motel Hell. If any of you know the reference out there, please comment down below. I'm a very avid fan of your older horror films. But the motel's been done really nice. You've got like different rooms you can go between, a couple of secrets here and there. And I'm quite a fan of how the level the design pushes you into combat in ways you wouldn't not expect, but in ways you normally wouldn't want to. I think that's the best way to put it. Obviously, you have to, if you see a toilet, you know, you have to hit it with something. I mean, it could be destructible. Who knows? Unless you hit it with a crowbar. We meet the ragtag new mutants for the first time, and these guys are absolute bastards because when they approach you, they zigzag, and they don't do ranged combat. They do melee, so they don't stop moving. They won't stop to take a firing position. They will literally come at you, bro. You know, we go out here and we find a thug trying to fend off some mutants, and he gets battered, to say the least. So we get a bit cocky. We think, oh, do you know what? We're gonna pick up his shotgun, and then this happens. And you'll see very why movement is the key with the mutants, because they are melee. They will group you and they will box you in and annihilate you, as you can see here. The best thing to do with these guys, what I would suggest, is get yourself a handy dandy jackhammer and cheese them. Now you'll see as well with the mutants, a very handy tactic is infighting. And you know, you use it because the mutants infighting will literally save your life. There is no two ways. Mutants infighting will save your life. Next up in the Boneyard, we have a grocery store full of thugs. The 9mm auto-load is actually very good. I think it's probably about one of the best things against the thugs, just because of the fire rate is good. It's fast, but it's still accurate. I do love that sign. GG on that sign. Obviously a bit of a distillery operation here, so it saddens me to say we're about to destroy all the booze. I too am sad. I too am sad. Goodbye, blessed booze. And anyway, on to mysterious signal.
1, 2, 3, 1.
Now, grabbing the key, we've heard this signal. Better get out of there.
Looky here, boys. We've got ourselves a real live one. Let's get him.
And I think we're about to get eaten alive. Mutants like ambushes. Mutants always like ambushes, and it will generally always be in... It'll be in an area that's fairly closed off, but with... usually with an entrance and exit. I did that by jumping on top of a crate and cheesing the fuck out of them with a shotgun. And now we meet one of the bigger enemy types, the big mutant, or as I like to call him, Thicky Chungus. Thicky Chungus likes using a grenade, like a kind of flaming RPG variant, similar to a flamethrower. It's called the Master Blaster. And you will learn to dodge these very well, because on arcade mode, which is the mode we'll be playing through this whole playthrough, they will roast you alive in about 2 hits. If not, the splash damage from it will do enough. But, you know, the 45 will take care of this guy well enough. Very nice death animation. Definitely borrowed from the Pinky Demons. Now we come to the wall, which is it's a nice little interesting hub. Very serene. I take it you can get the reference of this character. I at least sincerely hope you do. I mean, we can still be friends if you don't, but you know, any wrong answers, that's on you, honey bunch. But yeah, let's enter the dam. Now the dam is I think this is I think it's kind of an optional one. You can go past it. Is very helpful to do. You get a very good present from it. Is worthwhile. And the music in this is just, I mean, dance in the bathroom. Yeah, sorry, I'm just dancing. Not in my bathroom. I'm imagining being in a bathroom. Anyway, we're going to get past that point of conversation. We're going to whack out a shotgun. The importance of cheesing it round walls with a shot. And you'll see, generally, my health is generally never really above 30 or 40. You spend a lot of time in this game with your health low. The lower your health, the more you think about the situation you're in and the combat encounter and how to overcome it. Like me running up that set of stairs and severely regretting it very quickly. Choosing to let them come to it. Sometimes letting them come to you, if you've got the ammo to funnel them in, is probably the best tactic. You know, I mean, fighting the thugs isn't so bad at all. Because obviously they drop ammunition. It's the mutants that you really have to be careful with. They don't drop ammunition. On the mutant stages, the only ammunition you're going to find is going to be secrets. You know, and I love that. I love that the thug sections are kind of like a break, you know? And the mutant sections are where you really you can't run and gun. You have to take cover. You have to rely on infighting tactics. You have to get dirty. You have to use the crowbar, the jackhammer, whatever you can. Now, I'm trying not to give away any plot points or many secrets in these videos. You are going to come across a few. But I'd like to think I've missed out enough for it not to be full of spoilers. You know, but go through the dam, get the last room, and obviously we tactically cheese around the corner. It's not cheesing, it's adding a mystery of perfection. Look at that 45 and that shotgun combo just dispatching like they were handed to you by the gods themselves. The shotgun design really in any sort of kind of Doom mod or any engine mod is usually based on the Duke Nukem shotgun, but this I find it's got like the wood texture they've used is actually really nice. It's really nicely done. It looks pretty. Now, Highway Holocaust, boy oh boy, are you gonna love this. Highway Holocaust, it sets a tone. It really does set such a solid tone. You know, drop your quick save, reload your pistol, and let's get biking. I love these bike sequences, and I do wish there was more of, well, not more of them, but more along the way. You know, like more events populating those sequences. I think that'd be pretty cool to see at some point. Nice little surprise, motherfucker. And yeah, this is just a nice little fun. It's no part of the plot or story. You just encounter a crashed thug convoy on the way. You know, I did actually try driving into them with the motorcycle and
looks like someone
got absolutely murdered. like brutally murdered, and then realised I hadn't quick saved for a while, so we cut that out, you know. Here we are back to civilization. Now, quick thing, the jackhammer uses fuel. So when you hit one to switch the crowbar, you're going to need to hit it twice, or else you end up using up fuel, which is never good. You know, it could be a lot more helpful, but this, so the map here, I absolutely love. Holocaust, or what it leads on to. It's a fantastic map. You've got the enemy placements across a cavern that you can't get to, and there's only a couple of certain routes. Obviously they are full of the enemy as well. Now if you're smart enough, you'll clock there on the wall as we go out. 100 restock K, obviously I'll Reese, you know, because this mod is full of references. It is absolutely full of references. It's also full of me blowing things up and remembering I should probably not be so close to it when it blows up. But, you know, second time's the charm. Fire and run like an absolute wuss. And a nice amount of screen shake as well. Not too much. And I love it. Also this. Don't dead open inside. No, seriously, don't dead open inside. Fight me on it. I'm correct. Now this is the importance of strafing, because strafing is effective in this, and when your health's low, timing these guys' shots is a requirement to your existence. It really is. But once we dispatch these last few thugs, it's time to move on. We are going to descend into the sub-caverns. Now, I love these little... You get these little sections. Every couple of levels, you get like a text transition. And they're done really well. I'm not going to read it because I think most of you can read. And also... I'm not very good, I find, at reading text without my stutter coming through. That's why the format of these videos is generally done by bullet point stamps. And I like... This is the amount of exposition that I like in Doom mods. The music starts here in the sub-caverns is absolutely on point. You cannot fault it. Just listen. Like, that atmosphere is absolutely dripping through. It's very claustrophobic. So this is I'd probably say the first challenging level, the first properly challenging. Now bear in mind I'm playing it on arcade for the purposes of doing video work, because or else I would, instead of having 5.5 hours of footage to edit, I would have like 7. You know. Here we come up and find the people who tried to enter the sub-caverns before us. And we see how well it did not go for them. With that lovely, that pulsating green goop chest. Ah, now these... We haven't come across one yet, but this is it. This is what I like to call the floaty bastards. Now they move extremely slowly, and you might think, oh, I'll just go around them. But they will follow you. They will follow you across the whole damn map. They're like a bloody homing missile. They get close to you, they speed up and explode. So really, you're best off dispatching them. And I'm not sure if this is like a set piece, if this is staged, or if the mutants generally have more hit points than the thugs. If anybody knows, please do let me. But that was, I think... Yeah, that was 3 mutants against 4 thugs. We were very grateful for the ammunition that they dropped. Now, the enemy placement here and the verticality is absolutely fantastic. You can't get to them to hit them with a crowbar. If you try and close that distance, you're just going to get projectile to hell. You know, they do damage, so you have to start thinking more tactically. Shoot the floaty bastards. They explode, they do damage to the enemies around them. And you need... I would say learning little things like that with this mod is essential. Like I said before, you can't simply just run and gun it on the harder modes. I mean, you can, but it's going to be a very long slog, and it's going to be a lot of quick saving. And I think that would... I think it would ruin the experience. I mean, there you go. Also, don't stand still for too long, because you get blown up by one of the floaty bastards. And up next is what I like to call them. Just them. These things, right? You see them, you unload into them, and you try to stay, I'd say mid to close range, because mid to long range, and they will absolutely rip you apart. And at this point of the game, as you can see at the bottom right, I didn't have much in the way of ammunition, nor did I remember to keep my distance from pipe bombs. Hey, we've got a stim, so we've stimmed up. Stims are chemicals you find throughout, so you get a few different kinds of chemicals, health boost, performance boost, and I had to end up taking out these guys with a bloody jackhammer, because I just ran out of health and ran out of ammunition. I think going up these stairs, I literally have a crowbar. You come through here into this, and I was so grateful for the armor scraps, the first aid kit, the little bits of junk. You know, and this whole mission, you will scrape through with next to no ammunition. You're bouncing from encounter to encounter, hoping to find that one box of like 5 shells. You don't pick up much. You don't. You know, and even when you pick up rounds for the 9mm autoloader, which you do get more of per drop, they don't go that far. You know, so you really have to make every shot count. Which, yes, it means getting good and not missing. 2 things I am absolutely terrible at. But, like I said, if you don't learn ammo conservation, then you're going to find yourself going through 2/3 of the map with a crowbar. Which is quite fun. Another thicky chungus in an enclosed space. Pipe bomb dispatched. A-OK in everybody's book. Now... this area is very irradiated, and the way the radiation works, after a limited amount of time, it will start to knock your health down, so the best thing is just to get the hell out of there. We flip that switch, and it's time to, how do we say politely, get the fuck out of Dodge. And I genuinely thought here that this was some kind of trap. You know, look at it, it looks like a trap. Smells like a trap. It looks like a trap and smells like a trap. But look, there we go. No trap. Not one archvile waiting for us. You know, no wall of pinky demons. I know that's the wrong game, but you get the gist. I like how the water works here. I really like how that's been done. Like I say, I have no knowledge of modding or level design or being a member of the human race, so you guys tell me. But Sub-caverns over and done with. We'll get to, I'd say, what's probably, I think, might actually be my favourite level of the whole of episode 1, the Temple of the Dollar. Now it's just an homage to decayed capitalism and Dawn of the Dead. Well, because of the Dawn of the Dead Mall. And I like how they call it Temple of the Dollar as well. That's a really nice knock-on. I like that. So we find some perfectly good food underwater, apparently. I'm not going to question the physics of time and aging. We go through the Carping Park. Carping Park? It's a park where we go fishing for carp, apparently. And we go into the mall full of thugs. Now, once again, ammo conservation not a problem because they drop at ammo. The conservation issue here is health, because there isn't a lot of it in this mall. There is not. So you really have to pick your shots. You have to know where to take cover and to keep moving. when out of cover. Do not stand still, because they will hit scan. And it makes these firefights really tense, especially when your armor and your health are low. You know, doing most of this with no health kits is difficult, to say the least. But there's also a nice bit of fan service in this mall, which makes up for the profuse amount of sweating you'll need to do to get through the firefights. Point A, exactly. Up in here, you take a little sneaky look around. And boom, Mancubus. When I first saw that, I came around the corner and shot it several times. But yeah, there's a really nice amount of fan service in this mall for posters. I don't know what the fuck these guys are, but I think they're using the troll noises from Oblivion. If someone could point me in the right direction, but that's what I think they are. And they are very annoying. Don't use the shotgun unless you're up close, or else it's a waste. Best, you know, like short to mid range with them. But they are a very what the fuck moment. There's a nice little old theatre in here as well, where there's, I say, some wonderful posters, and you get to incinerate all of these hidden assholes. Once again, the developers of this mod do like their hidden assholes. Secrets wise, in the mall, there's a few secrets. Some obvious, some not. What I would say is in this one, secrets are a little bit more important. This is the food court, or as I like to call it, the foobar court, because this took me such a long time, because as you can see, I have 11 health with no medical items. So once again, we are strafe firing with the shotgun, doing our absolute best. We're not as bad for ammo as we think, and there's a lot of thugs in here that drop ammunition for us, which is really, really quite fucking helpful. You know, obviously, with the thugs, you don't get the infighting with the thugs. Now, the little mutant hounds, the little ones, you've seen them, right? The little ones that fire the green balls. They are faction both with what seems like the mutants and the thugs. And that's me. I got so annoyed. I very nearly rage quitted on myself on that, because I pulled off that firefight so well before getting murdered. But, alas. The joys of save scumming, eh? Never judge people for save scumming. Now, I hope with the mannequins there, some people get the reference. If you know, pop it down in the comments below. Let me know, because I'm a very old school Charlton Heston fan. Not a Charlton Heston as a person, obviously, because he was a terrible human being. But some of his old films were good. These guys, more surprise mutants. The music in here is great, and it's been done. The sound design's been done like it generally sounds like it's coming over a PA system in a mall, which I think is, you know, I think that's really good how that's been done. You know, I've never done that kind of audio effect, so, you know, kudos to the devs and stuff for getting that in there. Terminus. Good old junk and drugs and rock and roll. Terminus is the second sort of hub area that you come to. You meet a very shady looking guy who wants to sell us some drugs. So obviously, in true scavenger fashion, we ask him if he's got some harder stuff. Because, you know, we ain't no beta, are we? Actually, yeah, we probably are. But anyway, we're going to buy some drugs. And to be honest, they are worth it. They are. Now, the junk you've been collecting whole way through, that is your currency. There's also a fighting pit here as well that I've not used myself, but I think I will in future. I will. I think at this point I did just want to keep on with the whole main gameplay. Gameplay line? Gameplay paths? I don't know. Words are not my strong point. This is Riggs, who's in a wheelchair, and we get a very nice toy from him. Now, going into the city has been really well done in this. It has. It's the atmosphere created visually, both visually and orally is something else. They've done a really good job. They have it. And I know a lot of people have said that Ashes is like a mix between Fallout and Stalker, but I'd say more Wasteland than Fallout, to be honest with you. And I'm not from the point of view that obviously Wasteland is the precursor to the Fallout series, but I just think it's got more of that ethos. I don't think there's much, because the whole thing obviously of Fallout is you are essentially the chosen one to save the vault and all the Wasteland. So I don't think that really carries over to this. But yeah, so we've got our standard, you know, apartment building, plenty of thugs around to shotgun the face, and as you can see, yes, we have a double barrel sawn off. That elevator ding implies violence, which, to be honest, anytime I hear an elevator ding, I'm pulling out my shotgun as well. And then you realise you get barred from Marks and Spencer's underwear department for life. But that shotgun makes short work of pretty much everything in the game. Very good weapon to have. Now, we've got our lovely favourite SMG here, and we're going to run like fuck because it is radiated, and we've heard the wailing of them in the distance. And this gun makes short work of everything. That SMG, but I say, shares ammunition with a 9mm autoloader. Now here we're in a car park, a multi-story car park, and this is one of my favourite thug fights actually. I really like, you know, the buses, the old like ruined RVs and things like that. You know, lots of stuff to dodge and hide behind. Okay, mostly hide. Yeah, you know, hide's definitely the right term. Took me a few times to get through as well once you learn, like, not just the enemy placements, but how quickly and freely the enemy move. If you turn your back on one of them, they will be on you in seconds. They really do come around fast. You know, the 45 once again proving as it's worth an absolute workhorse. And see, yes, I was right. There was infighting between the little mutant dogs and the thugs. So that is a thing. Look at that. Retrospectively watching my own videos has taught us something. Who would have thought? We keep this... Oh yes, that's the point. Crouching. Haven't mentioned crouching. Crouching is bloody helpful in this. Like, crouching and jumping are very helpful indeed. Now, this next scene is actually quite tense until you realise. Just back yourself into a corner and just watch the mayhem unfold. And was it worth it? Of course it was worth it. It was great fun. I had great fun. I'm sure they did. But I had great fun, and that's what matters. That's important. Now, this is a section I labelled Drugged Up Tower Assault. We filled ourselves with some brute stims, and we're just using the Master Blaster to unload. Now, there's a lot of infighting going on there, so I thought it might be best just to kind of, you know, maybe just hang back a little bit. Let them get on with it. But we decide we need to move aside because our stims ran out, which means we're going to start taking radiation damage as well. And also, they have turned up, you know, them. But this is on where, you see, normally you would let them infight, but you can't be sure of when they're going to just stop infighting and take notice of you. So yes, with a classy 17 health here, we miss 1 out of every 2 shotgun shells. Close enough. Another thicky chungus hiding down the bottom of the stairwell. But we dispatch him. We dispatch him with some cheese tactics. Dead as a fucking doornail. Now we get to the elevator, and off we go to what will be the final stage of episode 1. Short, but very meaningful. Also, I'm so here for interactive, sarcastic electronics in the distant, ruined future. I think that's a good way of putting it. Just by guessing the password. I mean, yes, you've seen it there, but I'm pretty sure you're all going to be able to guess it anyway. But no, this I really liked. That alarm noise, believe me, my first objective in my head was to turn that noise off. This is not the fault of the game. I hate alarms noises in games. They make my skin crawl. And this is a sarcastic computer. Which, let's be honest, if you were stuck in a bunker for 75 years with no one to talk to, then you'd be pretty fucking sarcastic too. An unsaved game of Missile Command has frozen the reboot sequence. Oh, this ambush. This ambush. Oh, just listen to the noises these guys make. This is why I call them them. And of course there's 3 at a time. And of course they're all in an enclosed space. But you get plenty of cover. And let's just be honest, listen to this. Anything that makes that noise when it dies pretty much deserves what it gets, in my book. Nice little long-range mutant encounter with some spicy barrels in between, just to make, you know, the murder a bit more fluid. Now, this is the final ballad of Thicky Chungus. This is the final Thicky Chungus you encounter. And I was kind of sad and yet extremely pleased to see the back of them. You know, they're a good enemy type. The weapon they have is fantastic, even though it's killed me countless times. But I think they've done really well. And they aren't hit scanners. They could have made them hit scanners and they didn't. And I'm really happy about that. Yeah. Now, the last hint. Don't let it out. But, you know, what is it? What could it possibly be? What's so scary, huh? What could it possibly be? But either way, we're going to flick the switch and find out, because that's what we do. One thing we like doing here, people, is throwing caution to the motherfucking wind, and it will bite us in the ass at every available turn. And I'm not showing you what it is, because you should go and damn well play this yourself. All the respective links will be below, and I just want to say thank you so much to the developers of this mod, everyone who worked on it, the community who gave them the feedback required to make what is one of the most polished experiences I've ever played in GZ Doom. And considering the quality of some of the mods out there to contend with, that's, you know, that's a pretty fucking high bar, isn't it? But yeah, it's been such fun. Very soon the next episode will be out, which will be on Dead Man Walking, which is obviously still sticking with Ashes 2063. We've got Dead Man Walking, and then we've got Afterglow. But I've had fun. It has been really, really great. I've been LeatherMushroom, your hostess with the mostest. Please consider liking, subscribing, checking out my Ko-Fi, having a look at the other platforms. I stream on Twitch 4 days a week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And if you have any feedback at all, any criticism, you know, constructive, obviously, fucking preferably, let me know, because, you know, this is an adventure for me. It's a journey, and I'm really happy to be on it, and I'm really happy with you guys being here. So I hope you enjoyed it. I've been your hostess, LeatherMushroom, and from me to all of you, have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Eat his flesh.